Since ancient times, Christian authors have believed that the Blessed Virgin Mary had a unique end to her life. In their sermons and apocryphal writings, they profess the bodily glorification of Mary immediately after her death on earth. Here is one of the most expressive versions. When the end of Mary's earthly life was approaching, there was great excitement in the church. Mary knew in advance that she was about to leave this world. The apostles were also forewarned, so they gathered in Jerusalem. When they arrived, Mary had already died. They opened her tomb and found it empty. Christ had come to take the soul of his most holy mother, which Byzantine art represents in the form of a swaddled child. Then, the body of the Holy Mother of God, gloriously resurrected, was also assumed and taken to be reunited with her soul in heaven. Both those who speak of the natural death of Mary and those who speak of the deep sleep of the Mother of God have their good arguments. Throughout history, both theologians and popular piety have been divided on the opinion of whether Mary actually died or merely fell asleep and was taken to heaven in body and soul by the angels. The basilica in her honor in Jerusalem is called precisely Dormitio Mariae, and one of the oldest documents we have about the last days of Mary also bears this title. The dogma of the Assumption of Mary, proclaimed in 1950, did not resolve the issue, stating that the Immaculate Mother of God, the ever-Virgin Mary, having completed the course of her earthly life, was assumed body and soul into heavenly glory. Mary's body elevated to heaven could already be a glorified body, like that of Jesus after the resurrection. Both those who speak of the natural death of Mary and those who speak of the deep sleep of the Mother of God have their good arguments. These latter argue with her immaculate conception. If death is a consequence of sin, Mary without sin and without any shadow of sin could not die. They also remember that immortality is a characteristic of the Church. Now, since Mary is the prototype of the Church, God could well accomplish in her what he will do with the Church at the end of times, that is, resurrecting those who have died and snatching them together with those who are still alive into the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. Those who affirm her natural death also recall that Jesus, too, was immaculate and most holy and underwent death, the fate of all children of Adam, the gateway and necessary passage to immortality. Mary is the model of all redeemed by Christ through his death and resurrection. Like Jesus, Mary, who united with him on Calvary, was configured to him in death and resurrection. Just as she, sinless, experienced pains, anguish, discomforts, persecution, she also underwent the greatest trial, physical death. This does not affirm that her body suffered decomposition. Another tradition has Mary ending her earthly journey in Jerusalem, on Mount Zion, and being buried where the Basilica of the Dormition of Our Lady now stands in the Kedron Valley, a traditional burial place. Archaeological studies and other evidence trace the tomb back to Roman times, specifically the 1st century of our era.